We'll wait for him to come back. Is it going? Good.
Guys want any light in here or?
Right, yeah. We're gonna wait for him to come back. He's switching from his phone to his computer.
Okay. Oh, wait, he's here now.
All right, I'm back.
All right.
All right, 6:31. We all ready to go there in the room?
Yeah. Yes.
All right, well, welcome everybody to the August 14th, 2024 and Williston Energy Committee meeting. The agenda is up on the screen, and I think, Melinda, if it's okay with you, maybe just take a minute. I'll take a minute to talk a little bit about what we discussed on Friday, last Friday, to kind of set the tone.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So Melinda and Reed and I got together last Friday to talk a little bit about upcoming agendas and how to maybe bring a little bit more, I guess I'll use the word efficiency to our proceedings. We've got a lot on our plate, and getting through the meetings efficiently and staying on topic is going to be fairly crucial in order to accomplish all that we have. So I'll just hit the high points real quick. Going forward, we're going to be looking to have the agenda enhanced, I'll say, by calling out specific outcomes for each of the topic areas that we have. One thing that we talked about is kind of the nature of the group, because I think we're all interested in all the topics we talk about. We can all get into some pretty good rabbit holes, into some adjacencies around these topics. So by providing outcomes around each of these, our goal is to kind of level set at the beginning of each meeting on what we need to accomplish during the meeting. So it's not just to say we need to talk about energy fair planning as an example, right? But we'll have some specific outcomes when appropriate. We'll have specific outcomes that we need to accomplish. That makes sure that we hit the things we need to hit, especially as it pertains to Melinda being able to then do the work she needs to do over the the course of the next couple of weeks until we meet again. So that's one thing we're going to be trying to do. Reed and I both will be making an attempt to try and keep conversation on track. I say Reed and I. It's my job as the chair, but Reed's the one in the room tonight. So we talked about as long as one of us is trying to maybe do a little bit better. And I say do a little bit better because Reed and I may, just like everyone else, enjoy getting into these conversations and whatnot. But we're going to try and keep things a little bit more on track. We also talked about building out a glossary of commonly used terms so that we don't rabbit hole on definitions of what things mean that we've already discussed. I'll just bring one up now. We might use the word clean energy, right? We've gone through a lot of discussions. We've actually put those discussions, down on paper in the draft energy plan. So we're going to try and also have just a quick glossary of what things mean. So when those topics can come up, we can just quickly say, hey, we've agreed to this in the past, and it doesn't mean we can't change it, but let's can we all agree for this conversation to use the previously decided upon wording and move on. So those are a few of the things we talked about. Also making sure that we are really looking at, for each of the topics in the agenda, is this an area where we expect to have a guest or guests participate, or is it really more of a working session, right? And therefore keeping more of the public comment in the public comment section, and encouraging folks to use that public comment section, and encouraging folks to look at the agenda in advance. They can read through all the material so they can have relevant comments to what we're talking about, but they can do so during the public comment period itself. So those are just a few of the changes we talked about, and the plan will be to start off each meeting with at least a quick brief reminder of these things, and a little bit, maybe like a 2 or 3 minute look through the agenda so we can all talk in advance what outcomes we hope to achieve during the course of that meeting. Reed, Melinda, did I miss anything?
The only thing would be limiting on public comment at the beginning. Each speaker would be given 3 minutes maximum.
That's right.
And-
3 minutes.
and
We ask.
We'll ring a
stay-
bell at the end of it.
We'll ask people to stay on topic. We'll ask people to maybe not repeat what others have said. I think there's some other boards, communities, and towns that do this already. Just kind of state the expectation up front. Not that we have that much public comment, but yeah, one of those things of
Right.
we're just trying to think of as many things as we can to really drive toward a little bit more efficiency in the meetings, so that we can accomplish all the things that we have on our plate.
Right.
With that said, I think we can move into public comment. Is there anyone in the room or anyone online that has a public comment? I have one that's been emailed to me that I'll read, but I wanted to open it to the floor first.
Admittedly, I can't find my raise hand right now, but I have a very brief public comment to make today. I don't care whether I go first or not.
Well, go for it.
All right. Hey, everybody. I missed the last meeting. If I'd been there, I would have said this, and that is just that I wanted to thank you all for the work you've done on the energy plan draft. I know that there's still more to be done there to finalize it with the Planning Commission, but it was a joy to get to hear some of the conversations over the last few months on that, and also for the work that you've done and the work you'll do related to the clean energy exploration, and just express my support for that, and my pleasure that the Select Board was interested in supporting advancing exploration of what that could look like for Williston. That was my only public comment, Kevin. Thank you.
All right, thanks a lot, Reid. If there's no one else online or in the room, I will read the email that Chapin sent to me. And Melinda, I think you have a copy of this as well. Chapin's playing with the town band tonight just across the street, so he wasn't able to make it. He says, and I quote, I read in the Observer that the Select Board is considering re-voting the bond for town hall parking at a meeting next week. This caught me by surprise, as I was hoping to find a way to include solar over at least the southern row of that lot as a demonstration. The additional investment would pay back in electricity over the years, but it would increase the initial cost. I don't believe we've applied for grants to help with this. The Energy Committee did not support spending ARPA money for this, but I expect you would support other grant money helping with it. Yes? I'd like to make an argument to the Select Board at their meeting to at least include some engineering so that solar could be added, if not initially included, and to explore what grant money might be available in this time of increased climate needs and the infrastructure federal initiative. As you know, I'm disappointed that despite repeated recommendations from the Planning Commission in its annual review of the capital plan to include solar over the revised parking lot, it has not been worked on. And we, Planning Commission, have not received any communication from Public Works about why it has not been part of the engineering. Thanks, Chapin Kaner. And Melinda's got a copy of that. We can enter that into the actual minutes if necessary, but those were
Yep.
Chapin's comments. All right, on to approval of the draft July 24, 2024 meeting minutes.
Which are huge.
Yeah, a lot of conversation a few weeks ago. All right, do we have any comments on the minutes?
I've
That would-
read through them and found nothing to change. Yeah.
All right, would anyone like to make a motion to adopt the minutes?
This is Reed. I'll make a motion to adopt minutes of July 24, 2024 as written.
Second it.
All right, we have a motion and a second. All in favor of adopting the minutes of July 24, 2024 as written, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? All right, so it looks like the ayes have it. And I can't entirely see who is in the room. Do we have, I assume we have a full quorum tonight.
Yeah,
Yeah.
7,
Yes.
Okay.
Everyone is here.
all right.
All right, so on to the fiscal year 25 work plan. Melinda, do you want to lead this one?
Yeah, so, per a request last time to, do a Mentimeter exercise, with basically a 2x2 grid with, effort on the x-axis and impact on the y-axis for each, potential, work that you could do or work project that you could do, during the fiscal year. So just to further explain that, basically just looking at each, work plan item, thinking about how much effort it would take to do that. And also thinking about the potential impact it could have. So looking at basically what you'll end up with is a graph with a bunch of dots for one dot for each, work plan item, and it'll be somewhere in that, kind of effort to impact space. Be able to tell like what things, people kind of agree would be worth doing based on, yeah, I mean, we can discuss it afterwards, but the nice thing about it is it's live, you can see what everybody's doing. Assuming you've all brought your phones with you. It's really easy to do it on a phone. So with that, I will take you to it. So. Let's see. Yeah, so basically you just either use the QR code. Or you enter the code, go to www.menti.com, enter the code. Everybody there? Okay. So I broke these down into different, like, sort of sectors, because there were so many actions that you could possibly do. It's hard to see them up there, so, I apologize, I can, only so big I can make that, make folks a little smaller here. No, it doesn't really work out well, okay. So, if you go, move forward to that screen on your phone, and then you can, go through each item and rank its effort by its impact. And I'm happy to, we can, if somebody has a question about what something is, we can address that.
Oh, wow, that updates in real time. That's
Yeah.
cool. I submitted mine pretty quick, and there they are.
Yep,
I went with gut reaction, just because.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I'll just caveat with mine, subject to change as I think about it more, but that was my gut reaction.
Yeah. And then the last one on the list, is sort of I left off in the middle of the sentence, but basically charging stations and supportive infrastructure. That's what it should be.
Periodically evaluate and revise the town's official map.
Yeah, so official map is, it is a regulatory map that was developed a few years ago, with input from, ad hoc mobility committee, but it basically is a map of all the town's planned, multimodal facilities. And also some open space, and it has regulatory authority, so just like looking that over and revising it as needed.
That is so cool how it's like. Okay, we're converging to the middle. That's not good.
It's realistic.
Although we could extrapolate a line, then that would be helpful. We're going from low impact to low effort to high impact, high effort. That's good.
Exactly.
Oh, I skewed everything toward high impact, good.
Please wait, the presenter hasn't changed slides yet.
Yeah, there's,
Any
I
more
think
questions?
6 of you have voted, so one person
Oh.
has not voted. I'm waiting for everybody to vote. And now everybody's voted. So let's go on to the next one. Let's do there's 3 of these screens, and then once we're done, we can go back and discuss these. Does that sound all right?
Yeah.
Okay, so on.
Oh, so it jumps on its own, we don't have to hit a new QR code.
No,
No, okay.
you just go on to the next, once you submit your answers, you should be on to the next screen. Right, building energy.
Oh gosh. You guys are fast. Oh, we're getting the line again.
Okay, looks like everybody's voted on this one. So let's move on. This last one only has a few. Sigh. Oh.
These are hard.
Yeah.
These are all hard but high impact, I think. Maybe. I like this tool though.
I actually have one more screen I want to add, which I can do. It would take me like a minute, but. Okay, looks like everyone's voted. Let's see, I'm gonna. Sleep for a second here. And. Give me a second. Escape. There we go. What we want to do here.
Please wait, you've already responded to this question.
I want to just add one more slide. And that is. And then, do you see that screen now? So if there's like an action that you think was not listed and you should think it should be added. You know, if you think, oh, well, why didn't I see this? We're not sharing, sorry, hold on.
Okay, so I'm not crazy.
I
It's like,
forgot that I have to share my screen.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, there we go. And maybe this would be something to come back to after discussion too.
Melinda, I don't think I saw the Observer articles continuing that listed anywhere. But was that part of the public outreach, or was that implied in one of those public outreach questions you had?
I'm sorry, I don't understand your question.
The our monthly Observer articles weren't one of the things listed to vote
right.
on. But you did have something about general outreach, which we could just say includes that. I just didn't know how you were thinking about that.
Yeah, I forgot to put that in there. But we could, yeah, definitely. Benchmarking.
Ellen.
Yeah. Community solar. Cool. And observer arts, yeah. Okay.
We're right there.
Oh, okay. Oops.
Would the transit hub be in one of those things that we already covered?
Yeah, the transit hub, so what I put on as actions were not, were primarily just energy committee actions. So the transit hub would be something that would be more like town administration. So anyway, let's go back to transportation. Whoops. transportation. It's a little bigger. No, that's not really gonna help.
It shows up on the phone.
Yeah, it shows up on the
Shows
phone.
up, yeah.
So good is the left top corner.
What was that? Yeah, that was interesting.
Well, it's,
Is that the spread of the?
so,
Maximum impact, minimum effort.
yeah,
Right.
so
Top left, yeah.
the top left is maximum effort, maximum impact.
Top right.
The top right, yes,
Top right,
is
top
maximum effort, maximum impact. Top left is, maximum impact, minimum effort. So. And then this one is low impact, low effort. There was nothing in the high effort. For the, low impact, high effort. So I guess that's good. But like, to me, it seems like the low effort, high impact would sort of be the low hanging fruit. So. Oh, and this shows you, this shows you the spread.
Yeah.
Kind of interesting.
No, in the average, interesting.
Yeah.
So what is,
I can't read. I'm just
So
reading the trouble is I
7
can't
is-
see the list. Yeah.
Periodically evaluate and revise the town's official map. That's number 7.
oh my goodness.
Yeah, I don't see it.
Maybe hit refresh, maybe I got excited, so push it on.
Let's see. Full screen, full screen. Doesn't really have. Okay.
You do shift plus.
Shift plus. Which plus?
Plus sign. A, B.
No,
No.
control plus? No.
Control, there, you got a little
You did
bigger.
Really?
You got a little bigger. You can just read it, if you can, yeah,
Yeah.
if you can see, well, I can't see.
I can read them.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're just blurry to me.
so, wow, there's a big spread with that one. This one is. Well, we could just go like one by one down the list, if that makes sense.
Sure.
So number 1, holding an energy fair.
Oh, wow.
So there were 4 who thought that had low impact but low effort. 3 sort of medium effort and high impact. And then this one, number 2, facilitate and promote the EV ambassador program, low effort, low impact. 3 is right under 4. Bike ped task force continue to identify gaps in the bike ped network and prioritize actions to close those gaps. High effort. Moderately high impact.
Yes, it's, we all said it was high effort, but it's not, is it really? I mean, it's, you have a committee, but. I don't know, it's just work, It's something other than we do here, so.
And then 4, plan and promote the build out of new EV charging infrastructure, high effort, high impact. 5, collaborate with safe routes to school to encourage walking and biking to school. It's
Kind of all over the
medium,
place.
or all over
We're
the
almost
place.
dead in the center.
Yeah. I'm curious as to
Where why someone said it was like extremely high
effort.
effort, like, come on. Locomotion does all the legwork.
Then 6, encouraging local businesses to adapt to adopt transportation demand management policies. Periodically evaluate and revise the town's official map. Yeah, we submitted for 8, adopt a requirement for new developments to install minimum number of EV charging stations and supporting infrastructure.
Is 7 really something that? No, that's 7.
Periodically reevaluate the map, that's good.
No, I meant the one, probably the one above it. Encourage local businesses.
Is that more of like state policy
There's no state policy that I'm aware of.
or state? Wasn't it?
Transportation demand management policies.
Like that's staggering start and end times of work and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Isn't that
Well,
what that
so
is?
transportation demand, it would mean using transit, supporting like, telecommuting,
Ride shares,
bike share, car share, that kind of thing. Those are all like transportation demand.
And Matt, in the planning commission thinks that, having infrastructure for bikers, showers and
Yeah,
bike lockups,
Right.
that's part of that.
yeah,
EV chargers is probably doing.
that's not so
Not so
much because
I agree.
it's
You're right.
really about reducing trips.
Yes,
So, yeah, but yeah, towns requirements for new developments to provide end of trip facilities for bike commuting. And yeah. But I mean, I guess an example of this would be, say to collaborate with, is everyone familiar with CATMA? It's
No.
it's a regional transportation demand, management agency who is trying to work with businesses and municipalities to kind of support those measures to reduce vehicle trips. And they have this conference every year, and we're like they have 2 levels of membership, and the town is like a non-paying member, so we're not a full member. So it's a little bit hard for the town to try to like take the lead in encouraging local businesses if they're not a full member of CABMA.
doesn't it involve businesses providing bus passes or
Yeah.
paying for their employees to travel by bus, and
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
part of it.
I mean, that could be something more, because we're struggling to get the bus system to work, but
Right.
it would help the businesses like Walmart, et cetera, to get their employees there if they paid into the system or supported the system in some way.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Except for 1 and 2, which are kind of established things we already have. The rest take more work. Get above the center line or towards the center and right of center for effort as well as potential impact.
Well, 5 would be,
Kind of dead on.
yeah. And that's actually something that at least Kevin, you've been doing and staff has been doing.
Yeah. And hope to continue, and Kevin Thorning too, so.
And you've done a little bit of number 4, which is, developing like sort of a rough plan for EV charging infrastructure. And, we installed the EV charger in Village Park, which, doesn't see a huge amount of usage. Um,
Melinda, I've got a just a comment, I guess, and maybe this is something we want to keep in mind as we move forward. We did a similar exercise last year, and as we go through this, I think it'd be helpful to us to kind of on the topic of the outcomes that we talked about in the beginning. Um, this is something we talked about when we first started the committee, a couple of years ago, is outlining what we hope to accomplish with each thing we do, what we think the outcomes are going to be, and then judging it in some way, right? Like just to make something out of retrospect, maybe we could have said, hey, installing the EV charger at Community Park, we'll consider this a success if we see, I don't know, 8 charging sessions a week, just to make up a number, right? And similarly for the town energy fair, like could we come up with some outcomes, KPIs, right? That we want to measure. So that when we go through this again, we can start to talk about the actual impact we've had and what impacts we want to see. I think it might help us just get a little bit more quantitative about some of the work.
I don't think it's that terrible. The results here are not terrible. I mean, there's some things that are, I mean, the high impact, there's nothing that's way over to the right. So it's high impact, but not extreme high impact, but effort, or not extreme effort, but there is higher impact, so it looks reasonable. So.
mhm. So it seems like these are kind of all things that are in the work plan, and I'm not hearing anybody say like, oh, let's stop doing that. Right?
Yeah, I guess that's the question. What's the goal of our seeing this? Do we want to put more effort into things, or are they, holding an energy fair is far less work than some of the other things?
Right, the goal is really to prioritize what you want to do this year.
Yeah.
Okay.
We hold the energy fair, we're planning on doing it, but it won't take as much work to repeat that every year.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And hopefully this year, because we're moving it, it will get more attendance.
Mhm.
So we should do it, but then some of the things that maybe we haven't worked on as much, does it mean we should start doing more, applying more effort?
So like, for example, for number 2, facilitate and promote EV ambassador program, what would be your goal for the year? If you were gonna work on that program? What would be the outcome?
Get people to know about it more, because no one's actually, I don't know how utilized it is.
Mhm.
And it might just be that people don't know about it, so I would think that, making it more visible.
Yeah, I like quantitative stuff. So I'd say something along the lines of, could we have, I'll make it up without really thinking too hard. Could we have 2 ambassador engagements per month? Like that could be a goal.
Yeah, when we first.
Do we really have control over that though? Because
We don't have control per se, but I think part of the EV ambassador program is getting the information and the knowledge out there. And while we can't obviously force people to use it, I think we can judge the success of the program by how much it is getting used. And we don't have anything now, so we could also just say, instead of coming up with a number, like if Melinda, if you know how many engagements we had through that program in the last 12 months, we could say in the next 12 months we want to double it, as an example.
We don't want to double
Zero.
it because it's 0, so.
Okay, so let's not double that. Let's at least add to it.
I think, it was promoted maybe when we first created it. There were posts on Front Porch Forum or something, maybe when we first created it, but I'm not a marketing person, but I think people need to see something like 7 to 10 times before they act on it. So maybe we just need to saturate, and not just this, but maybe all of our outreach just needs to be
Yeah.
much heavier, not heavy-handed, but just more aggressive.
The fact that
maybe. I
we
don't know.
have pretty good website, but probably nobody goes to it.
Yeah.
Right. Or like that EV article that we did, we could have put it in there and put a pitch for it in there, but that's done
Yeah.
for the year.
Yeah.
I was just thinking the same thing, Kevin. That was a missed opportunity.
Is that too much? I can.
Okay.
That's better.
Just tell me if you want me to go
Hmm.
to the next screen.
Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
good. Go to the next one, yeah. Okay.
All right. Um,
And this is bad because there's a lot of things on the top right.
well, I wouldn't really say it's good or bad. It's just,
Uh-huh.
you know, it's high
High
impact, which is a good thing. Takes a lot of effort.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
It
six,
takes-
that looked like it was pretty close as far as everybody. Had to go back to showing how people chose on it. If you go hover over 6 again, please.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no, I guess it's pretty spread out like all the other stuff.
Yeah. And then 5 is adapting a clean heat ordinance. Now, granted that both 5 and 6 sort of exceed the energy committee's authority, but nonetheless, you're working on it, right?
Yep.
So, both high effort, but high impact actions.
Yeah.
Potentially, yeah, this was sort of all over the map too. Not exactly sure how it generates that point location from, like what the math is there, but and then 3 and 2, holding pop-up events, providing free energy saving kits.
See, those are like the first one, those are things we have done that
Yeah.
you can repeat pretty easily, you know.
Since they usually lives.
We haven't done them this summer, but we've done them a lot prior
Mhm.
years.
Yeah, I do think it's kind of interesting. I guess I'm curious. Well, I don't know. I think it's interesting, the sort of the judgment of impact on some of these things. But yeah,
Do you think the impact is off?
I don't think,
The actual
no, I mean, it's
idea.
just a difference of opinion, I think, and
Yeah.
it's, you know, and how some of these are really like all over the map. So I don't know, it's interesting. Should I move on?
Let's see. So 4 is about balance between effort and
That's
work. Yeah, we haven't done much of that.
organizing workshops or building walkthroughs,
Yeah.
highlighting demonstration
Yeah,
projects.
okay.
That's really hands-on.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
It takes effort. We're always showing, you know, over the center line, it takes work to put that together.
Yeah.
It's questionable.
I think we could just
Slightly
collaborate
above
with
it.
Efficiency Vermont, it would be fairly easy.
Yeah.
I don't think it's that hard of a lift.
Yeah.
I've done it and stuff.
Yeah, what kinds of events have you put on?
There's an employee assigned to Lamoille County. And we just do a walkthrough with a commercial customer. The energy committee at one point was tracking her progress, and then put out a couple newspaper articles in the Stowe Reporter. And then folks could walk through with us, assuming the business would allow that.
Yeah.
And I think the Energy Committee did like a raffle, some type of raffle.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you participated or showed up to one of these things, you got $50 from Stowe Vibrancy to spend in the community somewhere.
Yeah. So basically contacting Efficiency Vermont, find out what,
Where their gen is for Williston, yeah.
well, no, I mean, we know who the person is,
Yeah,
but like,
perfect.
would they provide us information about who they're working with and like the commercial businesses that they're working with, and would it, like, would they be willing to, do a walkthrough or do like.
They would, I mean, I can't imagine they did it just because I work for the utility.
Yeah, the business wants to show off potentially, and the business in Vermont wants
Yeah.
to show off what they've done.
Well, that's exactly it, yeah. They loved it. They show the systems that they upgraded.
Uh-huh. So if you were to incorporate this into your work plan, how many of these like walkthroughs would you want to do during the next fiscal year? Like, I already have one in mind, which is the state public safety building, obviously
that's
geothermal. But would you want to do more than one? Would you want to do,
Mhm.
2, 3?
Yeah, different scale, or like a certain manufacturer or something like that.
Well, that's similar to the one they did in Husky when I was out of state.
Right.
They brought in
Mm.
Efficiency Vermont state officials and walked through how Husky manufacturing has reduced plastic in manufacturing and the packaging efforts, environment there. And they had a bunch of people walk through on that one. And
Yeah, I'd say, 3 would be a goal. Yeah, and try
Yeah.
to get a range of,
Mhm.
a range.
And as far as like the energy saving kits, because right now we have a ton of energy saving materials that we could be giving away. So do you have any ideas about how to get the word out, how to best distribute it, and how to get it to folks that really need it? Like the food shelf was, that.
Is Capstone the community action for Williston? Or is it someone else?
It's CVOEO, weatherization, right?
They'd have a list of folks who are receiving benefits, and
Yeah,
that's the easy one.
So the
The high
library,
school's right across the street.
we did them, like I say, we did a number of them at the community food shelf. We gave away a modest number, and then we did some at the library.
right,
Again, gave away
Yeah.
modest, and Vermont Gas provides them their little 1 by 1 full energy saving things.
mhm,
And we've done them at the Energy Fair, and last summer when we did a bunch of farmers markets, we gave them away there too.
right. The other thing to mention with like not only building energy, but, well, I guess especially building energy, is that we've got this $4,000 mini grant from the MERP grant. So we need to spend $4,000 like during the next year. So you should think about, what you want to do with that $4,000. To we have to, we really do have to spend it, otherwise,
Are you gonna use it for a building audit? What was the idea? in getting the grant?
it's really supposed to be for outreach.
For outreach.
Yeah, to
Mhm.
kind of, I mean, there's a number of things you can use it for: energy fairs, you can use it for events, but
have
some.
ice cream at our energy fair.
Poor band. Poor band.
Band.
Or bad, huh?
So anyway, something you should think about. All right. Should I move on?
So
Melinda, we can talk about this in the next topic because the next topic is energy fair. But can we use that money for a for buying things if we want to do like a raffle at the energy fair?
Sure, I think so, yeah.
Okay. Also, a time check. We're about 5 minutes past our allotted time. We started 5 minutes late, so we can keep going on this, but I just wanted everyone to be aware.
Yeah,
So the announcement of the button-up campaign, which fits into what we were just discussing, is kicking off August 28th. Efficiency Vermont's having a meeting, a webinar, and it generally just runs through the fall, you know, so.
yeah. So you could potentially hold an event for button up.
And maybe we could. So maybe we can tie some of this to our energy fair in September.
Mm-hmm.
And a button up tent. You get Efficiency Vermont there, get us some of our materials and everything. So we could expand. Or just like we started with an EV Fest 2 years ago. Then we went to an energy fair, which was both, and then see if we can get more vendors for it, more people there.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Which is 5 6 weeks from now.
Yep. All right, I'm gonna move on. Okay, so Solarize campaign. And then participate in the PUC process. I'm actually surprised that that was ranked as high in effort as it was, but and also as high in impact as it was, because I mean basically it's hearing about projects like Global Foundries solar and writing comments from the town, which I don't think is it's not that hard to lift, but
No, but it's helpful. It's more impactful than you would think.
yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Well, wait, we're talking about the low income run, right?
No, it's
No.
248.
Or the
Number two.
Number two.
oh, number 2. Okay.
So that's yeah.
I guess maybe I didn't
I
understand.
misinterpreted that one when I commented because I think I would rank that a lot lower effort than
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, you pretty much just, you sit there and get the presentation and.
Yeah,
You write a letter and say you rubber
You
stamp
put
it.
the rubber stamp or comment on it, like, well, there's a tree there that's 200 years old. That's it. It doesn't take a lot of effort.
We had Global Foundries actually come in, present to us last year or earlier.
Man, it's a chance to learn more.
And then number 3 was explore the feasibility and make recommendations on potential sites for town and solar facilities. I mean, to me,
Low effort.
yeah, to me, like hiring, or not hiring, but just putting out an RFP to solar companies, with you know, a list of some sites that we've thought of and having them come and do like an analysis, site analysis, analyses.
Yeah, that's very low effort. I'm surprised it shows on the right side there. Well, everyone? Oh, come on.
Well,
Even you.
anyway, okay. Well, should probably move on,
Yeah.
Kevin.
Oh, Kevin.
Yep, sounds good. So the next topic is actually, Melinda, did you want to say anything to wrap this up or next steps? What's the kind of output or follow up of this?
Well, I think what I did last time was I basically made a list. I kind of what I could do is I could do a follow-up survey, just basically asking you, putting all these together and saying, why don't you prioritize these? You know, basically just rank these in order of priority of what you want to work on and see what we come up with. I don't know. How does that sound?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that sounds good. I think one additional thing we could do is if maybe we also try and, as part of that survey, identify champions for the ones we're most likely to take on and see who. I'm trying to think what word I want to say here, but like who champions? Like who's the person that they're passionate? Like I'll make something up. Kevin Batson, I'll throw you under a bus as being passionate about some of the safe routes to school and bike ped stuff, right? And so, as an example, maybe Kevin would be someone um, to take a swing at what are some of the goals we have, right? Not just to say we worked on it, but to accomplish these things. How do we judge our success? And maybe we do that if we can get champions for all of the big ones, right? Just someone who's interested in taking 15 minutes to kind of jot down what success looks like to them, how we want to judge our success, how we want, like how much we want to get done. We could use that as well to then put it actually into the work plan.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Okay, I can do that. Oops. All right, so here we go.
All right, so next up is the energy fair planning. Melinda, I know there's been a few emails flying back and forth, and I think you've already made some progress on some aspects of this. So do you want to update us on where we stand, and then we can maybe get into a little bit of conversation on it?
Yeah, so basically I copied the last year's planning spreadsheet into a new one. So if we're gonna hold this on September 28th, we've got 6 weeks, we're 6 weeks out. We have selected a site, WC, Williston Central School. I would like your input on, basically a site layout, because I've got a couple of ideas, but I think that's one thing that would be really helpful to do tonight, is to kind of nail that down. I can work on basically the internal review with fire and police department. And you've already registered the event, Reed, on the National Drive Electric Week.
Yes.
I can reach out to EV ambassadors and people who, basically otherwise participated last year. So the main thing is contacting partners and, whoops. And if we were to, it'd be great if we could divvy up that list of partners and have people volunteer to contact folks. I've already contacted a bunch of people, but great if, and if there's others that you think we should contact, add those to the list.
Yeah, for a heat pump supplier, I think I have two people. One person who did the leaf, he did a long discussion, or what do they call it, where the workshop rooms for the Waterbury leaf. And so.
Do you know who that is?
Yeah, it's his company is Vermont Heat Pump, and it's Pat Perry, and I can contact him.
I can do GMP of Vermont Cows.
Okay.
I know a guy.
Yeah.
I don't know about EV lawns or e-lawns, because they didn't get any, they came last year, they brought all their equipment, and I didn't see many people going over there, so I don't.
Oh, yeah. People were climbing all over those. They loved it.
They loved it?
Yes, yes. Yes.
The only problem with Elon's is that they don't do residential. They'll do residential if you get a bunch of people together, but when I talk to them, they really only do commercial or like like HOA stuff. At least they did last year. So it was cool to see their equipment, and I got like prices of it, but they don't do residential, which I was bummed about because I was maybe hoping to hire them.
So what
Well,
about
it's
Mo
exposing
Electric?
people
Is
to
that
some
them?
sizable equipment.
Yeah.
The Elon's.
Yeah, big
Well, they
equipment.
don't, yeah. Residential. Yeah, couldn't hurt to have them come though.
Yeah, I can reach out to Mo Electric as well. I've worked with Steven a little bit in the past at other events.
So are you volunteering to contact him?
Yep. Yep, you can put me
Okay.
down. I think I've also probably got contact info for, I mean, you've got it here, but I think I've been in contact with Lily from Green Mountain Solar as well. If you'd like to put me down for that one.
I can do building energy.
And Melinda, you can put me down for CVSD as well. I know that I think I've coordinated the bus in past years.
Anybody know if South Burlington or Burlington are doing theirs again this year?
I thought I
That
saw
is-
the BED Burlington Electric one, which I think South Burlington combined with. I thought I saw that was going on, but I don't recall the date.
Mhm. Anybody wanna contact Earl's Fitness?
Yeah, I will, because I talked to them last year. Their problem was
They didn't have staff.
they didn't have staff and they were doing South Burlington, so
Mhm.
they can't be two places and do multiple weekends. They didn't have enough people.
Sun
And
Common?
Locomotion's already a known no, they can't make it.
Yeah, I asked them. This is the third year in a row that we've asked them and they've said no. It's disappointing.
Okay.
Yeah,
Is it just a timing thing, or they just not that?
I don't know. I don't know what the deal is. I mean, they were gonna do it, either last year or the year before.
Yeah.
And then the person who was gonna demo got sick and she couldn't come. And then I think last year they just said no, and then this year they said no. Like, they sounded enthusiastic at first and then they came back and they said no. So it's disappointing, but it's what it is. And then I thought of something else, and that's window dressers. And I mean, we could probably even get Allison maybe to show up.
Yeah, that would be a good one.
You want me, I'll take that one.
Okay.
And are we going to do like a sub group for button up? Are we going to include a button up in this?
Well, so I've reached out to Erin Moriarty at Efficiency Vermont. So if she comes, I'm sure she'll be bringing button up stuff. You know, she'll be like publicizing it.
And do we want our committee to maybe work with her ahead of time so we can get all right.
I mean, we have a ton of materials from them. We've got like tons of written materials and some swag. So we can just bring that out.
Okay, all right,
I
good.
imagine like if Tim from Vermont Gas comes, they've got a lot of, you guys have a ton of stuff too.
Just as a sidebar, Burlington's is September 21st, so it'd be a week ahead of us.
Yeah.
Local Motion is a sponsor there.
See, that's what happens when you wait till
Yeah.
the end of the summer.
They're also having DJs, live music, champ, kids games,
Yeah.
ice cream and food trucks.
That's a bigger entity.
we just focus on the energy part. So.
Yes.
And the cars, they didn't have as
Yeah.
many EVs.
You can put me in for Suncom in there, that last blank one, I can all
Great.
contact them too.
Awesome. Any other partners do you think should be on this list?
Maybe is that organization that we were talking about earlier that does the alternative transportation, do they come to?
Cadma?
Yeah, Cadma.
Well, I mean, again, like they're really geared towards like local businesses and not really the homeowner side of things.
Okay.
Want to see if Green Mountain Power can bring their electric line truck?
It might be busy.
Oh, that would be really cool. They have like 40 of them, right?
Well,
Oh no,
that's
those are the fleet cars. Are you talking about like the heavy duty line?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They have like the Ford Lightnings, a whole bunch of them.
I don't know.
Is the,
Driving around through snow.
So I want to look at a little bit at the site layout. Let's see.
Yeah, were you thinking the east or
Well,
west?
So we could do it here,
Oh, yeah.
or we could do it back here. And the advantages of doing it here is it's more central. But there's not as much space for EVs to park the demo EVs. Like if you have people parking for the event here and even down here, but there's still, let me zoom in a little bit.
Yeah, because we're gonna have to make it clear how to direct people.
Right, so
Yes, people would park over along the front of the school too, maybe.
and don't they park
Yeah.
the buses there when they're not being used?
all of the buses,
I thought they were left them there.
well, there's two buses here.
No, I thought they're all at Allenbrook when they're not
Yeah, I
being
think
used.
they are.
Oh, do they?
Yeah, I think on
most-
weekends it's pretty open.
But if the front of the school were the site, what I envision is, closing off this to general traffic, having people park along Library Lane in the parking here, or even down at the end of Library Lane, because it's easy to walk over from there, and then you would have, then you could demo EVs along here, but there's just not a lot of space for that.
Yeah, I think the other side's better, as
Um,
long as there's not another activity going on.
yeah, Mary said we could use the parking lot, however,
Just doesn't get that much traffic.
the challenge
Yeah.
is the other side. Is that, I mean, it's not an overwhelming challenge, but it's a little bit harder to separate the public, the parking from the,
Yeah.
where the event is happening. So like, it's just a little bit more challenging in terms of site layout. It's not, you can't, you can do it, but it just creates a few challenges, like where, I don't know, I'm sort of envisioning maybe having an EV display here and having general parking sort of be, I don't know, here. Having vendors, sort of be here. But
Is it possible to have, what about the, like right where it says Central School Drive right there? You could have the EVs there, and then could you have, the fair on the green?
well, that's real, no, because
That's a fire,
That's what we used to do a long time ago. It's on the green right on Route 2, so we get.
so they're, it'd
visibility.
be really separated then, and ideally you'd want it all together. And Yeah, I mean, cause,
There's the footpath to get there, but yeah, it's,
Yeah. I mean, I like having the better visibility by having it on the loop in the front. Like
mhm,
people would drive in and then they would see the event right there.
yeah,
but they'd have to drive in to see it, right? So,
Well,
I'm
they
just saying,
they
if
have
we're
to
in
come
that
in,
back parking lot, they're gonna see a sign saying energy fair. And then they're gonna drive in there and then we're gonna have to have signage leading them all the way to the back.
oh, you mean, well, similar to what we do at Allen Brook School,
Yeah.
yeah,
but,
because
Yeah.
you're either coming in by the library, but if you come in from the left street,
from this one,
no, yeah, you can't
Simple
turn right
straight drive.
there.
Yeah.
no, you can't, but you can go here, right, or no?
And that's where a sandwich board would be at the
Yeah.
top of Library Lane,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
you're right. Yes. So then people, because it's
Right, you
it's
can't
a
go this
Saturday or Sunday? Saturday,
Saturday,
Saturday.
yeah, so you come in.
So the library's still open, so you can't park it.
Can't park there, you could park here,
Yeah, a lot of that parking is, library only. It's open
Yeah, on
on the right hand
It's
side of the
south.
library.
and there's not that many
Mm.
spots.
No, it's not that big.
No,
Yeah,
that was the advantage of Allen Brook, this was so much parking lot.
Right.
Yeah.
but, I mean. It's still like,
The biggest parking lot's the one in the back, behind the tennis courts.
right, it's still, it's a little bit less out of the way than Allen Brook School. You know, if you.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying switch now, no,
Yeah.
no.
yeah, it's an improvement to Allenbrook School. We could do signage on the bike path and signage on the Central School Drive to bring people in.
That big parking lot, then you get a lot of people in there just putting signs that lead into there.
Yeah,
Maybe that's the way to
And
do
then
it.
you put your EVs along the back line,
along this line,
yeah, or your vendors along there.
yeah,
It's kind of what we did, we had the vendors against the grass,
there's
then
no
we had a
one.
break. And then the row of EVs and then, you know, just general parking in front of that.
Mhm. Yeah,
I would think we would wanna take up the whole place, the whole area for our parking, and if it's a Saturday, there's, it shouldn't be that much, there's have tennis players and not much should be parked there.
yeah,
Melinda, what was the downside to the other side of the school?
this side,
No,
What?
the school bus turnaround area.
there's not a lot of parking and there's not a lot of space for EV to park demo EVs. So if you're using this whole loop as demonstration space. And then, you have vendors on the grass or wherever. You have limited room to park demo EVs and then
Well,
for
that
parking.
area along the school is pretty wide. I would think we could do both sides of that strip.
Yeah, maybe,
Along the parking, along the sidewalk and also along the grass island.
Yeah.
right there, yeah.
Also,
Possibly.
I mean, just looking, so we've got we've got 5 vehicles lined up there, right?
Mhm.
So just extrapolating that out, we could easily fit 15, vehicles in that space, probably a few more. How many did we have last year? I think
20,
20.
20 plus.
Mhm.
I mean, even if we just did 15 kind of parked diagonally like those cars with more space in between them, and then 5 lined up on the other, kind of against that little median island there. I mean,
Mhm.
on the same side of the thing, but like just like
Right there, yeah. Mhm.
personally, I really like how visible it is to anyone coming into the library, going out to the fields, especially on a Saturday morning in the fall.
Mhm.
And
I
then
mean,
the library lane plus the central school drive parking right in front of the school, I would think would be enough. We haven't had we've had good turnout, but never more than what,
The other
20
thing is,
20 visitors at a time.
there's a lot of parking here, and it's really easy to walk from
Yeah.
here over.
Yeah, we could,
Yeah.
and maybe we could designate some one or two people to be parking attendants.
Yeah, just directing.
Directing people.
The one thing is that you should have a couple of ADA spaces real close to, like, either on the end here or
Yeah,
somewhere really close. So maybe these two spaces could be designated ADA parking and then the rest for demo EVs or something. But that does, like, again, create a conflict between people driving in to see the
Yeah.
event. So, yeah, I don't know.
I
It's
mean, are these
challenging.
already ADA marked? Is there anyone in there? That's already-
Yeah, but
So too
that's
far away.
so far away that, I think, what's the point? I mean, the other
Okay.
thing you could do is you could have a couple of ADA spaces right here. But otherwise leave it like,
yeah,
no car traffic in there, just have some couple ADA spaces. And if there's somebody that wants to set up like lawn equipment along here or school buses.
I would think that, it's the main entrance of the school, there might be something there, so if we go and look. Like some of those library spaces, the last library spaces might be ADA, on, Library Lane.
They are closer to the library.
Yeah, there's
They're
one
right up against the door.
right there.
Oh, there's.
I mean,
okay.
the point is that the point of having an ADA space is to have something very close to where the action is, so they don't have to
And
go
that's
very
what I
far.
thought, near the entrance to the school.
yeah,
Yeah.
I think they're like right, yeah, and that where the,
In that
yeah,
row.
the cursor, they're right in there, aren't they?
I don't, well, we
Close
can,
to this.
But
Yeah.
yeah, we don't solve it right now, yeah.
okay, so, but the consensus is that you wanna do it here,
Sure.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah, I think so.
all right. Then we will figure that out. All right, so we're getting, let's see, and here.
Melinda, did you take a note on the previous topic about looking into drawings, giveaways, raffle, and maybe I don't know if we want to put that on the partners list, but I'd be willing to, if maybe someone else wants to reach out to, I don't know, whoever, Home Depot, Lowe's. We could obviously use some of the grant funding to go just buy
Yeah.
a weed whacker or maybe even a few $100s on an electric mower, but maybe we could get one of those companies to chip in a bit so we can spend a little bit less.
Yeah, yeah,
And ice cream in a band.
Depending on the quality of the band you want, Kevin, I'll volunteer my band for that. It may not have the effect that we want.
so Kevin, do you wanna reach out? You gonna reach out to those?
Yeah, I'll try. Maybe I'll reach out to Home Depot first, and then Home Depot because they're local, and then Lowe's. I have no contacts either. I'll try and figure it out.
Or, yeah, right. Yeah.
In fact,
Home Depot.
I'm already reaching out to Stephen Weisbaum from Mo Electric. He might know of someone interesting to talk to get there.
Mhm. Okay. Cool.
All right, so I think that brings us to fiscal year 24 annual report.
Is that the staff memo?
No,
that was-
I think Maria volunteered to do the annual report.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I've started going through the minutes. I was aiming for September, if that's still good. First meeting in September, or is that too late? Should I do the last meeting or the next meeting in August?
No, that's fine.
The staff memo seemed to be, pretty good.
The
Annual
annual,
report.
the annual report is,
It's
it's something that
One
basically
page.
describes the activities of the Energy Committee in one page.
One page.
Right, but your very detailed staff report includes all the items we did.
Yeah, so.
So,
it's gotta
so Maria, if
consolidate.
you look at that one, you'll get a lot of your detail.
Yeah.
Just plagiarize mine.
You hear that, Maria?
I did.
Yeah, you can have it next week then. You're just gonna. Copy and
I
paste.
did get an example, so
Oh,
I'm not writing a thesis, that's for sure. Well, it's one page, so
One page. Yes,
One page thesis.
yes.
And if it's less than one page, you can put a picture in there.
here you go. No, I think we have plenty to talk about because, and I can always do bulleted lists because we've done tons of living green articles and all that. So
Mhm. Yeah.
All right, on to other business. Someone, I'm not sure what we had for other outreach. Was it, would you have, had we talked about that last week? I'm blanking on what we meant there.
Yeah, there's nothing really to talk about other than what you've already talked about in your, in the work plan discussion.
Okay.
And then the Williston, the Living Green article is more, who's
Yes.
gonna write the next one.
So unfortunately, the 1st of August was a Thursday, which means Living Green will be published next Thursday. Which means I need to submit it to the Observer this weekend.
Yeah.
So I don't know if anybody, we talked about a bunch of stuff in the last meeting for topics. But basically we have about 3 days to write an article. We talked about either the town electric mowers and robot or CDSD electric buses. I don't have any information on either one of them.
And I don't have time to write an article.
what is the status of the buses? I guess we're just, we haven't gotten new ones yet. Those are.
We've got grants for new ones. Yeah,
Grant
that's,
isn't-
I don't think there's anything beyond what's in the newspaper articles already.
Yep.
Let's see, if our energy fair is the 28th. 1, 2, 3, 4, that means the Observer comes out on the 26th. I'm looking forward to September, so a pre-energy fair article would be published in September. 2 days before our event, so we still need something for this month. Ugh.
And well, we have a change of season, people going back to school. I think we've done too many safe routes to school articles or repeated too much. Get boring.
Yeah, so looking back to this, we did the energy fair starting a year ago, the energy fair, button-up campaign, weatherization, plastics and recycling, En-ROADS, heat pumps, window dressers, car alternatives, the EV update. We missed June, and I don't remember what we did in July, but it may have been no-mo.
How long of
Kevin.
article are we talking about?
They are 500 to 700 words, sometimes we get it a little longer. If you look in the Observer on the 4th Thursday, pretty consistently, we have an arm in there.
I could talk to Amy Brewer about giving like a summary of last year's Safe Routes to School or something. I don't know. And then that would get people thinking about it as the school year
Right.
starts. It's not good.
We're just on a really tight timeline, unfortunately, this week.
I mean, I could hack something together with like rebates with Green Mountain Power, if that's something that's
Sure.
interesting, just
Okay.
like, here's the rebates.
It's any topic we want, that, I mean, the Observer has a Living Green section. And you see 6 different articles, a lot of them are syndicated, they put in there, some are local, we just have been pretty consistently doing one a month for that section. Comes on the 4th Thursday of every month. So yeah, if you want, and then post it on, you know, share it on Google site or something to us, and then I usually do editing on it
Okay.
and then submit it.
Mhm.
I technically have till Sunday morning to submit it, the 18th.
Be good, because people are getting ready start thinking about getting ready for winter.
Yeah.
There's things rebates they can get to.
We'll use the GMP rebates for the Stowe Electric logo. That one works, okay.
Yeah.
So,
Photos are allowed too. So, yeah.
because I'm, going on
Thank you.
vacation next week, I'm actually gonna send out, probably send out the agenda, and actually Friday, this is like maybe sending out an agenda tomorrow for the next meeting.
But it won't be next week.
But it's not gonna be next week,
It'll be the 28th.
the 28th, so. Kevin, I don't know if, if you can chat like for just a couple of minutes about that, that would be helpful, but
Next week, you're saying?
what's that?
You
I'm
want to
off
chat about,
next week,
you're off next week.
so I'm sending out the agenda tomorrow for the next
Gotcha.
meeting.
Yeah, I can, you want to hang out a few minutes after this? Or you want to talk tomorrow or Friday?
Or
You
if
said
you
you're sending
have-
out tomorrow, so yeah, either way, I can do tonight or tomorrow.
If you have just a couple of minutes, maybe we can just chat, debrief after the meeting, that'd be great.
Yep, that's great. I can do that.
Okay, cool. All right,
All right, with that, we are at 7:58, and unless there's any other business, I think we can adjourn our meeting 2 minutes early today.
All right.
All right, thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
great, all right.
I'll be joining virtually next meeting.